हेलो पेरेंट्स। आज का जो प्रेजेंटेशन है बूस्टिंग इम्यूनिटी। मैं आपको एक स्टोरी सुनाता हूँ। एक ग्रैंड मदर अपने ग्रैंड डॉटर को लेके आती है और बोलती है कि सर आई थिंक मेरे बच्चे की या पोती की इम्यूनिटी कम है। और बच्चे के फादर करते क्या हैं? शी सेड ही इज़ अ पीडियाट्रिशियन। मतलब ओह ग्रेट। आई थॉट शायद जूनियर होंगे इसलिए दादी को अपने बेटे पे ट्रस्ट नहीं होगा। दैट्स वाई शी इज़ आस्किंग। मतलब कितने साल का एक्सपीरियंस है? तो वो 15 ईयर्स का। मैंने ओ रियली। और बच्ची की मदर क्या करती है? सी इज़ पीडियाट्रिशियन टू विद 15 ईयर्स ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस। एज लाइक 30 साल का एक्सपीरियंस घर में है एंड स्टिल इम्यूनिटी के रिलेटेड कंसर्न्स फैमिली मेम्बर्स को रहते हैं। वेल, ये कोई और नहीं, ये मेरे घर की कहानी है। Me and my wife both being pediatricians, still my mother feels that my child has some immunity problem. And let me tell you that why I chose this topic today. एक चीज़ तो आपको पता होगी कि we don't buy based on logic, we buy based on emotions. And that is the reason that जो पेरेंट्स का जो इमोशन है, इसके साथ कई सारी ऐसे ब्रांड्स है या जो ऐसे प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, they play with those emotions and try to sell and make money out of it. At times you realize that कि जो चीज़ें नहीं ज़रूरी है उसके बारे में इतना नॉइज़ इंटरनेट पे है. there is so much noise on social media regarding supplements ले लो या food products ले लो XYZ and claiming to be the magic pill for boosting immunity of a child. So I thought of make this presentation where I will share how actually your child can boost immunity, and trust me, you don't have to pay a single rupee if you really want your child to be immune. I'll also share certain practical tips which also might help you in achieving those immunity related outcome. So hi, my name is Dr. Khanjan Shah. I am pediatrician and pediatric intensivist, and currently मैं अहमदाबाद में स्नेह चिल्ड्रन हॉस्पिटल में एज ए कंसल्टेंट pediatric intensivist and director of स्नेह चिल्ड्रन हॉस्पिटल में वर्क कर रहा हूँ. You will find me on my social media handles Thinkpedia official on Instagram and Threads, as well as Thinkpedia on YouTube channel. So let me tell you few brief stories. Number 1, एक 4 साल की लड़की है जो 4 साल में नहीं हो तो 7 to 8 times is hospitalized. उसका वज़न ठीक से नहीं बढ़ा है. उसको एक बार निमोनिया हुआ, एक बार लीवर में पस यानी कि इन्फेक्शन हुआ जिसमें पस भरा जो निकालना पड़ा, एक बार हड्डी में इन्फेक्शन गया, एंड ऑल दिस इन्फेक्शन नॉट एट वन टाइम, डिफरेंट टाइम. 4 साल में 7 से 8 बार बच्ची इन्फेक्शन से एडमिट हुई और वज़न वगैरह ठीक से नहीं हुआ. दिस इज़ वन सेट. जो और दूसरी स्टोरी ऐसी है कि एक लड़का है, अगेन 4-5 years, गेनिंग वेट वेल. उसका ग्रोथ चार्ट पे अगर हम प्लॉट करते हैं, वेट हाइट सब ओके है. ओकेजनली इन अ ईयर 3 to 4 times ही कैचेस कफ एंड कोल्ड. एक बार उसको शायद 2 महीने में 2 बार हुआ. नेवर बिन हॉस्पिटलाइज, नॉट रिक्वायर्ड एंटीबायोटिक्स, एंड उनके पेरेंट्स को भी कंसर्न है इम्यूनिटी रिलेटेड. सी, you can make out that the first child, he is actually, and very well we all can make out कि उसमें जन्मजात या रोग के समय लड़ने की ताकत कम ही होगी. जबकि दूसरे सेट जो है कि जो कभी नहीं, लेकिन हम मैक्सिमम यही पेरेंट्स देखते हैं, those who complains and ask for medication supplements to boost the immunity. So make sure करें, if you are on the second set, you actually don't your child what he needs or what he or she needs. We'll discuss it about in this presentation. So in next couple of minutes I'll discuss with you what is immunity, what common questions we get asked about immunity. So I have made this presentation in a way कि जो parents हमसे question पूछते हैं या जो उनको हम आपको उन आंसर्स को मैं एड्रेस करूँगा विथ प्रैक्टिकल टिप्स इन बिटवीन. बिकॉज मेरा भले ही पीडियाट्रिक्स का एक्सपीरियंस 15 साल का हो, बट एक्चुअल पीडियाट्रिक्स का एक्सपीरियंस मैं 6 साल का ही बोलूँगा क्योंकि माई डॉटर इज़ 6 years. सो बुक्स एंड प्रैक्टिस आर टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स. सो व्हाट आर द प्रैक्टिकल टिप्स विच आई थिंक आई शुड बी sharing with you all, that we'll discuss. And at the end, if you have any questions, you may put that down in the comment section, and I'll try to answer all of them. So what is immunity? So the very simple question and very simple answer, that immunity की जो रोग प्रतिकारक शक्ति है, जो बाहर के कोई भी इन्फेक्शन है इसके अगेंस्ट काम करती है, एंड इट हेल्प्स our body and protects from the foreign invaders. Very simple, but actually immune system is very complex thing. So many neuronal, hormonal and changes and things are involved. Actually एक पूरा field है research का, immunology and immunity. So basically this if you want to know in detail about immunity, well and good, but as far as parenting is concerned, I'll just basic जो कुछ चीज़ें आपको पता होनी चाहिए, so that the tips which I'll be sharing later on you should be able to understand it properly. So immunity दो टाइप की होती है, एक innate immunity यानी कि जन्मजात बच्चा इनसे पैदा होता है, और फॉर एग्जांपल फिजिकल बैरियर्स जैसे कि स्किन है, हमारी स्किन प्रोटेक्ट करती है कोई भी बैक्टीरियाज को अंदर जाने के लिए, म्यूकस मेम्ब्रेन है, और सर्टेन सेल्स जैसे कि फेगोसाइट्स और ऐसे सेल्स होते हैं कि जो भी उनके कांटेक्ट में फॉरेन बैक्टीरिया या वायरस आता है, सो दे ट्राई टू engulf those invaders and try to protect body from that. So it's an innate immunity. And the other aspect is adaptive immunity. So basically ये immunity क्या है कि इसमें अगर कोई बाहर से बैक्टीरिया या वायरस या फंगाई अंदर आता है तो बॉडी उसके खिलाफ एंटीबॉडीज़ प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, टी सेल्स बनते हैं, फिर उसमें से मेमोरी सेल्स बनते हैं कि अगर फ्यूचर में भी सेम ऑर्गेनिज्म या बग से अगर फिर से इन्फेक्शन होता है, सो आवर बॉडी कैन फाइट बेटर एंड फास्टर. So this was in brief, and why you need to understand this is that certain, for example vaccine. So vaccine में हम क्या करते हैं, सिर्फ हम एक वही जो एंटीजन है उस ऑर्गेनिज्म का वो हम इंजेक्ट करते हैं ताकि बॉडी ग्रेजुअली उसके खिलाफ प्रोटेक्शन क्रिएट करे, एंड सिवियर डिजीजेस वन कैन be prevented from those things. So this was in brief about immunity. So now the main question which you all been waiting is, sir, please give the magic pill to boost the immunity of my child. If you find one, please give it to me also. I also need for my daughter, but trust me, there isn't any. कोई ऐसी चीज़ नहीं है कि जो देने से आपके बच्चे की इम्यूनिटी इतनी ठीक हो जाएगी कि that he won't be sick and he will be growing like the way you want. It's not like that. On the contrary, how or what you should be doing, that we should be discussing. So as I said, I have narrated in question form. So this is, so I feel my child's immunity is very low. He often suffers from cold and cough. ये काफ़ी पेरेंट्स रिलेट कर पाएंगे इसको, बट यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट कफ एंड कोल्ड कुड बी बिकॉज ऑफ वायरल इन्फेक्शंस, एंड इफ नॉट देन मैनी टाइम्स एलर्जी ऑल्सो. So it is not much related to immunity per se. It's just exposure of certain viruses and environmental changes, and those or exposure to allergen causing your child to have cold and cough. There, if you ask a pediatrician or someone to prescribe medicines or supplements to just that these things can be avoided, then you are just barking at the wrong tree. So basically what I mean to say is कि अगर simple cough cold है, बच्चा hospitalized नहीं हो रहा है और is gaining weight and everything is fine, then don't consider this as a problem of immunity. Immunity related problem होगा, your pediatrician will realize much faster than you can even think. So to answer this question, if your child is recurrently getting cough and cold, so what all you should be doing to prevent this thing? So first and foremost comes the nutrition, and again immunity के लिए भी nutrition बहुत ही important है. In nutrition we should know what your child should eat, what not to eat, how to make your child eat, and what supplements are actually needed in diet form also only. I'm not asking for to take any pills or anything, but with the fruits or whatever the diet you have, you can get those minerals or vitamins which are required for immunity. So we'll discuss those things one by one. So what to eat? So let's start from the beginning. Breastfeeding is the best feeding. First 6 months, give exclusively breastfeeding to your child. You yourself, if you are a nursing mother, have a lot of water and have a nutritious diet you yourself. The reason why 9 months onwards to 5 years के बीच में मैक्सिमम ये जो कफ कोल्ड इन्फेक्शंस होते हैं, there are two reasons to it. Initially maternal antibodies बच्चों को प्रोटेक्ट करती है, and once that wanes and by the time their immune system matures by 5-6 years, that is the window period or time in between where your child would be getting recurrent infections. Also he is becoming more active, getting more exposed to other people, other infected people, and there are all chances that कि आपके बच्चे के इन्फेक्शन के या चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं. So that is not an immunity problem, it's just that the immunity is getting mature. So what to eat, as I said, start with the breastfeeding. Complementary feeding का पूरा एक lecture में I'll prepare, and the elder kids, make sure that your whatever the 3 or 4 or 5 food you have, your child has, it should have fruits, it should have vegetables, cereals, proteins and dairy. So you divide, there is a concept of rainbow colored plate where you include all those things so that required minerals, vitamins and protein, carbohydrate and fats are being served in the diet itself. What not to your child to not to eat is mainly about junk foods. You should know what the junk foods are. Any food which is high in sugar, high in fats, or which is ultra processed, they would be considered junk food. Junk food has so many disadvantages to your body. Right now we are seeing adolescent age group में काफ़ी obesity is at the incidence of obesity in that age group is very high these days. So if the foundation of your child's nutrition is proper, so later in life के जो complications है, metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular accidents, so these things can be minimized later in life. So junk avoid कीजिए. And how to you should make your child, so this will discuss in the next question, like how to deal with the fussy eater and the supplements. So I'll take a brief few minutes to tell you about supplement. First and foremost, if your child is healthy, is having food where you are including all the fruits and vegetables one by one, is not ill or any medications, then your child does not need any supplements. Yes, infants do need vitamin D supplement because the breast milk has less of vitamin D. So that is the age group where your pediatrician would prescribe vitamin D. Uske baad with the diet itself you can get adequate amount of these vitamins and minerals. If your child is not well or has some sort of medical illness, let's say for example your child has a liver disease, then many supplements are needed and that your pediatrician would prescribe. But otherwise, if we talk in general about the healthy child, you don't need to give your child multiple supplements day in and day out throughout the year. If the pediatrician feels your child is anemic, if he looks pale or something, then he might prescribe iron to you. But otherwise, if you give proper iron through the diet which you give to your child, one may can avoid getting those meds as well. Vitamin D, sunshine hormone or sunshine vitamin, it has a role in immunity. So basically vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin C and zinc, these four I would say 3 vitamins and 1 mineral has some sort of role in modulating the immunity, but all of them one can get it from the food. That doesn't mean that you should start giving your child the tablets of vitamin C or giving vitamin D and vitamin A on your own, because vitamin D, vitamin A, even when given in excess, can cause problem to your child. So don't self-medicate with these, because they are available over the counter. And जैसे सोशल मीडिया में so much of knowledge is being thrown, but many time it is half and parents make the mistakes. Zinc again खाने में से मिल जाता है, unless your child has diarrhea or तब that is where you might need a supplement from outside. So this was in brief about the supplements. Let's go to next. So these are the healthier options you can have for toddler, like dal, rice, chapati, vegetables, curd, chilla, dal and besan chilla. If you are vegetarian, egg, all fruits, idli, dosa. So these are, I'll make a booklet on the food and which I will be sharing on my social media handles. So stay connected with me there. Now, second part is exercise. So how much exercise one should be advising or your child should be doing. अगर आपका बच्चा 6 साल से बड़ा है तो डेली 1 hour ऑफ आउटडोर प्ले should be a part of his daily activity. He without any break. The reason being कि good exercise strengthens the your bone, muscles, and that helps in maintaining the immunity of your child. If your child is less than 6 years, then 2 to 3 hours of activity, I'm not saying exercise, I'm saying activity should be there. Unstructured play, structured play, whatever, but your child is not sitting on a couch and looking at the mobile or laptop or tablet, but he's actually playing in the house or outdoor, whatever is the situation at your house. So that's the second point. After nutrition, good exercise. So remember, good food, good exercise, all these things will boost the immunity of your child. Coming third, that is vaccination. And now after COVID, everyone knows the importance of vaccines. History of vaccination is long back, but at this point government is giving freely many vaccines, and some of the vaccines just which are not available to government setups, one can go to the pediatrician and get those vaccines. As we discussed, vaccine कैसे काम करते हैं, it injects pediatrician injects a part of the antigen of that bacteria or virus into your body, and then your body gradually would start making antibodies against that bug. So in future, when your child is exposed to that bug, you get protection from it. So vaccination very important. Very few parents to save 2,000 rupees and then they get hospitalized and complications. I run ICU, so I know. We see every year many kids with vaccine preventable disease, and it's very painful, trust me. We had kids with influenza having all sort of complication, ARDS, ventilator की ज़रूरत, high frequency की ज़रूरत पड़ती है. We have seen kids with typhoid with complications, and hepatitis A with complications, chickenpox with complications. So these all vaccine preventable. Measles outbreak we had this year in 2023, and many kids with pneumonia, and after that malnutrition and meningoencephalitis and ऐसे सारे complications के बाद आए थे. So make sure करें, put an effort, conscious effort to have a look at the vaccination chart of your child, and every time you are visiting your pediatrician, it should be from your end to tell your pediatrician that is my child's vaccination complete. If not, just get that done. Or sleep. It goes without saying that the function of the T cells and B cells, if your child has sound sleep, ideally if your child is, let's say, for 4-5 years of age, then required or recommended sleep is minimum 8 hours, but 10 to 11 hours is what your child should be sleeping at that age. So in deep sleep, there are many studies are available which says that during sleep, if one is not properly is not having proper sleep, be it kid or the adults, your immunity is affected. The anti-inflammatory markers goes down and pro-inflammatory markers are elevated. So make sure the sleep routine is proper with your child. No excuses on that. It's a daily routine which you have to follow. Hand hygiene, very important. You should teach your child early about hand hygiene, how to wash hands. Hand washing should be before lunch, like before eating any food, or it should be after coming from washroom, or touching pets, or coming from outside, or if you have met some sick person. So make sure करे हाथ धोए. हाथ धोने का एक टेक्निक है. You have to take a little bit of soap. You don't need any fancy or medicated soap or something. Just a simple soap is fine. You have to wash. Make sure that all surfaces are cleared between the fingers, knuckles, and at the tip of your fingers. Everything is well good, and hand wash should last for around 20 seconds. So you, in your mind, you can be able to sing happy birthday to you that 2 times. If you sing that, it will be 20 seconds. So make sure that you have proper you're teaching proper hand hygiene to your child. Hydration, 75%, 60 to 75% of your body is water. Make sure you have properly your child is properly hydrated. When the child is not hydrated, or in other way there is some dehydration, there is a response of stress, leads to increase in cortisol affecting the immunity. So the many hormonal, chemical, neuronal changes happens in body, and which eventually affects the immunity of your child. So we discussed about nutrition, we discussed about exercise, sleep, hand hygiene, hydration. So all 6 things we covered. Let's discuss few of the question, like my child is a fussy eater and what can I do. So as a pediatrician हम बोल देते हैं कि हेल्दी खाना खिलाओ, बट एक बार आप टॉडलर्स के साथ या बच्चे के साथ जब टेबल पे बैठते हैं, जो पावर स्ट्रगल होती है दैट इज़ इमेंस. एवरी पेरेंट वुड रिलेट टू दिस. आप बोलो को ये खाओ, उसको नहीं खाना होगा. दे डिमांड अथॉरिटी, दे डिमांड पावर, और नहीं हो पाता. यू फॉर pediatrician it's easy to say eat fruits, eat vegetables, but it's difficult for parents many times to make. So here are certain tips I think you can use. First and foremost is involve your child whenever you are going to buy the grocery and fruits and vegetables. Take your child with you if that allows. Involve them and ask them what they want. If they are involved from the beginning, so there are all chances that they would eat it. At the same time, make sure that you are not buying any unhealthy options simultaneously and giving wrong signals to your child, even if that is for you. So make sure that you involve them in that. You can involve them in while preparing. They can you help you with getting the stuff. You are just chopping. So make sure that they are involved in making. You can make a different funny shapes, and in different shapes you can cut those things and put that in a plate. Also give them option. They always want option. They do not want to be ordered. Somehow their no side of brain is always hyperactive and yes side of brain is always hypoactive. So when whatever you say, no pops up. So give them options. Instead of saying eat this, instead of ask them what would you like to eat. Would you like to eat this or that, and make sure that both the options are healthy. एक unhealthy option मत दीजिए उसमें, otherwise it become every time they'll be choosing that. So that you can do. And make sure you model the proper eating pattern with whenever you are eating together. It shouldn't be that you are eating something unhealthy snacks or something and you are asking them, so that gives a wrong signal. So these are certain things which you may try. Every child is different, as I said, and this is what you can do. So can we give any supplements to increase child's immunity? So if you ask me, if your child is healthy and no any medical condition, he does not need any supplements from outside. Or vitamin D, if your pediatrician feels, might prescribe you. Apart from that, other vitamins and minerals or other products which are there in a market are not that helpful. Do children need protein biscuits? Yes, proteins children need. They have the growth period which is going on inside them for muscles and rest of the body tissues. Protein is very much needed, but you can give, if you are eating egg is a good source of protein. You can give dairy products, you can give paneer, and you can give pulses. So make sure that your diet has a protein part well incorporated in whatever food your child eats. But yes, it's very much needed. So so there's a lot of fuss about organic food, there are none of the studies which are available that eating organic food would lead to a better immunity. First of all, what is organic food? So that is basically जो वो food है कि जो without pesticides or fertilizer or any genetic changing in the plants, or that is being, and that's how they are grown. But and they are very expensive at times, so I would not advise to buy organic food just for the immunity sake of thing. Instead, as we said, proper food, home food would help. Chyawanprash and all, it doesn't help. Many of these have heavy metals, so not to give it to your child. We had it when we were child, but I would say scientifically this is just the emotions of the parents which is being targeted by many companies to just make money. My child does not gain appropriate weight despite all foods tried. So what health drink do you recommend? So I'll divide this question into, so it's very subjective thing, and many parents feel that their child is not gaining weight. But when we check the weight, when we plot in the growth chart, the child's trajectory of the growth is proper, So that's not the weight problem, number one. And as far as health drink is recommended, we do not recommend any sugarated caffeinated beverages for to gain weight and stuff like that. Milk is fine. Fruit juices, instead of fruit juices, if you give full fruit, it has fiber, and the risk of contamination and all goes down. So whole fruit is better than fruit juices. Again, packed fruit juices or whichever bought from outside has a lot of sweetener, sugars, additives, which can be at times allergic also. My child does not eat if I do not give the mobile. Should I allow my child viewing mobile or TV while taking food? Well, the answer everyone knows, but very few are able to practice the correct thing. Or why you should not be giving or distracting your child with the mobile. Or reason, first and foremost, they will not know what they are eating, so they will not be sensitized what is healthy food or what is unhealthy food. They will be just gulping down the food. And number two, they tend to overeat, obesity and all risk increases, so they should not be distracted somewhere else, and they should they should be mindful about what they are eating. What is junk food? We discussed that before. Any food which is high in fat, high in sugar, high in or which is ultra processed is junk food. Many parents are like, can we make that at home? फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से सीरा बनाया, तो सीरा में जो फैट या ऑयल या घी जो आप यूज़ करते हैं, इट इज़ हाई, बट इट इज़ कंपेयर टू द आउटसाइड फूड it is bad, but still better, but it is still considered as junk. Why outside food is not advisable? Because to make it palatable, to make it digestible, to make it stay longer, many things are being added. They are very high in sugar and fat, and additives are there, so absolute no. So ideally what IAP recommends is that your child should not have more than one time junk in a week. And whichever day you decide to give your child, let's say example on Sunday, so that should not be having more than 50% of his caloric intake of that particular day. So that is about junk and how frequently I answered. So this was in brief about immunity. So there are certain take home messages which I would like to share. So our immune system is smart. Don't be so obsessed about boosting the immunity of your child and going behind supplements and stuff like that. If you'll force someone to prescribe, someone would do it, but actually those are not needed. Diet, proper diet, rest or sleep, exercise, hydration, vaccination and hand hygiene. If you focus on these things, then anyways you're helping your child with the immunity boosting. Thank you so much for your attention. If you need any topic for me to go dive deep into that and share the scientific evidence of it, just mention that in comment section. Also, if you have any queries regarding this,